These violent delights have violent ends, but we don't want to wait for them. We're going to the next level of Westworld fan theories on today's Nerdist News. The J.J. Abrams mystery machine is operating at full power yet again. Westworld, the Abrams-produced series based on the classic Michael Crichton film, is only 2 episodes in, and already we've got more questions than an SD6 agent hunting down a Rambaldi device. Like, who exactly is the Man in Black? Where is the maze? What do theater kids do for the summer now that robots have taken all those sweet, sweet theme park acting jobs? We need to know. And though we've been burned by Abrams' unsatisfying solutions before, we're really hoping that this time will be different, especially since Westworld isn't just getting made up as it goes along. According to the show's resident bullet sponge and one-time Cyclops James Marsden, the writers had the entire series planned out before they even began filming. It wasn't about getting the first 10 episodes done, Marsden said in a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly. It was about mapping out what the next 5 or 6 years are going to be. With all that pre-planning, it seems a pretty safe bet that there are clues in the first few episodes that won't be paid off until much later in the series. But that won't stop the internet from trying to figure them out right friggin' now! So which fan theories are real and which ones need to be recalled for maintenance? Let's take a look. First up, let's talk about the Man in Black. Now, we've learned intriguingly little about this menacing figure other than the fact that he's been coming to Westworld for over 30 years, is considered a VIP, and now he never wants to leave. A feeling we can totally relate to as hardcore Disney bounders. But what if we actually know more about his past than we think? What if we've been shown his past in extensive detail already? Because maybe we have. You guys remember meeting William in last Sunday's episode, the guest who was dragged to Westworld by his brother-in-law and seems reluctant to engage in any of the park's more troubling attractions? Well, according to one theory on Reddit, those scenes are all flashbacks, and William is actually the future Man in Black. Remember, Westworld is trapped forever in the late 1800s, so as outside observers, we wouldn't really be able to tell the difference between the park today and the park 30 years ago, unless Dr. Robert Ford's drinking buddies' herky-jerky movements are indicative of the Wave 1 Westworld hosts. It's hard to say because the only familiar host we see William interact with is Dolores, who we know has been operating for almost as long as Westworld has been open. And eagle-eye viewers have noticed that the park logo changes slightly in the William scenes, looking a little bit more retro than the logo we see through the rest of the show. So does this hold up to our fan theory Turing test? We say, yeah, sure, there's not a ton of evidence yet, but considering how much we know Abrams loves intentionally confusing timelines, it's totally likely that he's trying to throw us for a time loop yet again. Now, the only question is, what horrible turn of events will turn William into the Man in Black? We can't say yet, but given our recent experiences at theme parks, we know any kind of overpriced churro is enough to throw anybody over the edge. Those things are delicious. Speaking of Dolores, another popular fan theory is that she has secrets that she isn't just hiding from viewers, she's hiding from everyone on the show. See, a lot of people seem to think Dolores may be a lot more self-aware that she's letting on, and she's keeping this fact from her creators for potentially nefarious reasons. This theory was already in the works a few weeks ago, before the show even premiered, when a Reddit user posted the comment, "I'm not scared of a computer passing the Turing test, I'm terrified of one that intentionally fails it." To which show producer Jonathan Nolan responded, "Boy, have we got a show for you." This seemed to imply that there would be an AI character in the show with intelligence evolved enough that they'd be able to play dumb. And we have to admit that Dolores seems like the most likely candidate for the con job. She's the oldest host in the park, meaning she'd have the most time to gain self-awareness. And did anybody else think her performance seemed a little strained when her father showed her that modern-day photograph in the first episode? Really, Dolores? A photo from hundreds of years in the future means nothing to you? It seems the robo-lady doth protest too much. Now, we think this theory could be real, but we'll need more time in the park to be absolutely sure, as with all of our theories. That's why they're theories. Now, it's easy to assume that some of the bigger characters, like the Man in Black or Dolores, will have lots of secrets to reveal before Westworld is over. But what about some of the smaller characters? Like, literally, the smallest characters. The flies, yes. Not since Jeff Goldblum stepped into a teleportation pod has so much screen time been devoted to flies. They are hovering all over Westworld, and some viewers think they may be more than just a minor annoyance. They think that the flies are there to act as a warning for the first sign of a robot uprising. According to this theory, Westworld's original programmers figured that if the hosts were to become violent, the first thing they'd act aggressive towards would be something small and inconsequential, like a fly. And there are some reasons to believe this theory. After all, the park is such a highly controlled environment environment, it's hard to understand how something as tiny as a bug could find its way in. But ultimately, we think this theory belongs in the recall bin. Using flies like canaries in a coal mine seems kind of inefficient when you consider how closely monitored the entire park is. And with all of the tech that they've managed to cultivate, I mean, we don't even know what year the show is even set in. There would have to be a better indicator of robot self-awareness than literal bugs. But here's my personal quick bonus theory. I think the flies are camera drones, as evidenced by when Thandie Newton's Maeve is being watched and commented on by the Westworld scientists. What better way to keep an eye on the park than with a bunch of inconsequential bugs? So, yeah, right? It wouldn't even take you out of the story. Ooh, and they've already got those made now. So what do you guys think? Are we simultaneously watching the Man in Black's final mission and origin story? Is Dolores trolling everybody? Are the flies secretly working for management? What's your crazy Westworld theory? Let's discuss this and so much more, including some Stranger Things details, live over at nerdist.com/Twitch today. And a very special thanks to HP for sponsoring today's Nerdist News with their crazy cool Omen X gaming tower. Emphasis on the cool, cause this thing's got best in its class cooling so it can keep up with the most hardcore games and let you perform at top level. It's also endlessly customizable and upgradable, so if you're a DIY fiend, you can hack the Omen to the max while cherishing its insane futuristic floating cube look. This thing rules. We need it on our desks ASAP. Anyway, thanks HP. Also guys, Dan has 8 Godzilla facts you didn't know on the Dan Cave, and he trolls me good a couple of times. What is this? I don't even remember talking about anything Godzilla.
It's funny, just go watch it.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to keep getting all your Nerdist news.